We finish with ice cream. The last song is called Ice Cream as Main Course. You know.
Who doesn't love to eat ice cream as their main course?
Yeah. And we serve it up to them. Ice cold.
Go for it. Tell us the story of room 29, Jarvis.
Oh, well, seeing as you ask. Well, it's a room not quite as large as this room, but similar to this room in the fact that it's got I don't know if you can see in the background that there's a piano there. And I stayed in this room back in 2012. I was touring with the band Pulp and I stayed at a hotel called the Chateau Marmont in Hollywood. The hotel was very full, so I got put in a fancy room and it had a piano in. We had known each other for a while and had kind of been saying it would be good to do some kind of project together. Something clicked in my mind when I saw the piano in the room.
People see piano things and think of me. That's why every Christmas I get piano scarves, I get piano ties, I'll get like the roll-up piano. It's actually a roll-up plastic piano with keys. And the year it came out, I got 3 of them from different people. So obviously, you know, I'm very much associated with this instrument. Jarvis walked into this hotel room and thought, piano, right, yes, you know, maybe now is the time to find a way to collaborate more deeply. But when we really started, and I would send music long distance, Jarvis already had this concept of the hotel room and that the music should sound like it could have been performed in a hotel room.
You were fooling no one. I was reading books such as this. I was doing some research into the history of the room. So I found out something about different people who'd lived there. And because of where the hotel is in Hollywood, it seemed like there were 2 stories really. There was the story of the real hotel room and the people who'd stayed there, but that was very much linked with the movie business because lots of people involved with the movie stayed there. So for instance, there's a song called Bombshell on the record, and that's there because the Hollywood actress Jean Harlow, she spent her honeymoon in room 29. That got me thinking more about films and the influence that they've had on us growing up. I mean, everybody's grown up with moving images, and what kind of picture of the world does that give you?
When you are a performer who travels, you end up in hotel rooms. And so some of the lyrics on the first song that Jarvis sent me was Room 29, the first song on the album. And right away it paints, I think, a picture that many people can relate to of you walk into a hotel room and you kind of fantasize about everything you might do in it. But most of the time you don't really do anything actually in a hotel room. And I think that first song captured it. And especially if you're a performer coming from a concert where you have a bunch of people clapping for you, and then all of a sudden you're just back alone in this very neutral, strange environment of a hotel room. That's something I really got. And that's linked to the movies because the fantasy of being on stage, the fantasy of what you might do in that hotel room, it's like a movie you play in your own mind.
She's waiting at the airport.
What comes out of this when everything is anonymous and a bit blank and generic like a hotel room is, without any of your own books or your own routines in your house, all of a sudden what is left, it's just you, and you maybe can't escape yourself in that moment.
But that doesn't have to be a bad thing. In the case of this, the record, it's to do with noticing that a lot of your dreams and fantasies aren't your own. When you realize that your dreams aren't your own, that's quite a realization that some of them you've got them from watching TV or watching films and thinking, oh, when I grow up, my life's going to have a storyline and there's going to be lots of incident, and I'll ride a horse and I'll make love to that woman and I'll be able to fly or whatever. Then you kind of realize, well, maybe that's not actually going to happen. But it's an ambivalent thing because I do think in the way the movies did expand people, it kind of made them dream bigger because suddenly you had this stuff that was projected onto screen and you thought, wow, people can look that good, people can be like this. And so it brought people out of themselves.
These surfaces are shiny.
we also realize that people listen to music in pieces these days, and it's naive to think that everyone will notice the story of your album. And so we kept in mind that the songs should work as individual songs. But if people are too busy, we don't want them. Really?
Sometimes it's good to take time. And I guess, you know, what we kind of hope for with the album is that it's a bit like if you take the time out to stay in a pleasant hotel room, you will leave the next day feeling very refreshed and with a nicer view of the world. So I would hope if people take the time to spend 52 minutes, 34 seconds in room 29, at the end of it, they will feel better.
Turn off your phone.
And turn on your mind.